Three investors are dividing a piece of land worth $300,000. Each investor's value in thousands, so note that each of these prices are in thousands of dollars, for each of the three pieces of land is shown below. So this chart here is really how we can do this problem. In real life, each person would look at the pieces and give this information, and then someone would collect it, compile it into a chart like we see here. So kind of imagine there's, this piece of land, and there's three pieces. And Juan says piece one here in the top corner is worth to him $80,000. Piece two is worth $100,000. Piece three, wait for my highlight to catch up. There we go. Piece three is worth $120,000. Maybe it's like sometimes we talk about islands. I think the next one, maybe we talked about an island. Who knows? If there was beach, like if there was the ocean on this piece, a whole beautiful cove or something, maybe even though it's smaller than piece two, someone would value it higher. If someone really doesn't like the beach and they like trees instead, maybe the whole middle of the island is full of trees. So piece two would be the optimal piece for them. That's really what I'm saying is every person looks at the specific details and says, oh, I like that more. If I was talking about like a pie, maybe you really like the crust of the pie. So you really want the top half of the piece, okay? And it's sliced in a weird way or something. All right, you want more crust, so you're gonna place this piece at a higher level than you placed this other piece. All right, those kind of things are what's going into the creation of these valuations. But you're not creating the valuation. Essentially, you're now looking at this and saying, okay, who are we gonna give each piece to? Just another note before I start this example, because I really haven't started it yet, is that you can tell who the divider is without them actually saying, Linda is the divider. And you can tell that because the divider has to. It's part of their requirement that they will split each piece into exactly one fair share. A fair share in this situation is going to be $100,000. And that's because the whole piece of land is worth 300,000. I'm just going to write 300 since that's what the numbers are in, divided by the number of people. One person, two person, three people. All right, so a fair share is $100,000. $100,000. And you need to know that because as we're talking about declarations or bids, we're going to note what people feel are fair. Linda is happy with any of the pieces. Juan would only be happy if he got the second piece or the third piece, because the first one is not enough. It's not at least a fair share. Martin will be happy if he gets the third piece and the third piece only, because 60 is less than 100, 90 is less than 100. So when we're writing out declarations or bids, you'll see that Juan would only be happy with 2 or 3. Martin is only happy with 3, and you never even really need to write down who the divider is because they have to be happy with all of them. It's part of the divider requirements that they've split the pieces into equal values, into pieces that they would be content with. So now that we have these declarations, this is where we start to look for pieces that only one person wants, or that are not contested, I should say. So when I say not contested, that's how we start this out. Non-contested pieces are pieces that are only in one person's list. In this case, piece number 2 is non-contested because it's not like piece number 3 is contested. 2 people want it. So it doesn't get assigned first. We start with the ones that are only in a single person's list. So Juan wanted piece number 2. He's the only one that wanted piece number 2, so he gets it. And as soon as he gets assigned piece number 2, we now don't worry about the fact that he wanted piece number 3. We kind of can wipe it from his list because he's out of the equation. He got piece number 2, he's good to go. And that leaves piece number 3 as a non-contested piece now. Martin will now get piece number 3. And this is the order that things would be evaluated too. All right, you want to make sure you're stepping through it and not just going, okay, what would make people happy? This makes sense. All right, you step through piece by piece. Martin now gets piece number 3 because it's no longer contested. And that leaves Linda to take the leftover piece, piece number 1. So this is the part A of our steps, where we didn't have any standoffs. All right, we were assigning the ones that were not contested until everyone had a piece. All right, so that's going to be the division, the pieces of land and who they go to in this exact situation.